Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. May yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa may yudlil fala hadiya lahu wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu wa anna Muhammadan sallallahu alayhi wa sallam abduhu wa rasuluhu. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. A warm welcome to everyone joining us today. We are excited to have you here for this live session hosted by the International Open University Student Committee of Sri Lanka. We are diving into a very impactful topic today, developing emotional intelligence in students. And we are glad to have each one of you with us for this important discussion. Before we jump in, just a quick reminder. We are streaming live on both YouTube and Zoom. We encourage you to be interactive throughout the session. If you are with us on YouTube, feel free to drop your thoughts and questions in the chat. And for those on Zoom, the Q&A section is open for you to ask your questions or share your insights. This is an intro about IOU. For those of you who may be new to the International Open University, IOU is an institution dedicated to providing affordable, accessible, and accredited education to students all over the world. Founded by Dr. Bilal Phillips, the university offers a wide range of both Islamic and secular courses, making quality education available to everyone, regardless of financial barriers. One of the key strengths of IOU is its affordability. Our mission is to make higher education accessible to students from all economic backgrounds by offering courses at a fraction of the cost compared to other institutions. Despite its affordability, IOU maintains high academic standards and has earned international recognition. IOU is accredited by several educational bodies, and its degrees are widely recognized and accepted by institutions and employers globally, giving students the confidence that they are receiving a valuable, credible education that opens doors for further studies and career advancement. With thousands of students enrolled across the globe, IOU remains committed to nurturing well-rounded individuals who can contribute meaningfully to their communities while upholding Islamic values. Now on to the event at hand. I'm honored to introduce our distinguished guest speaker for today's session, Mrs. Fathima Latiff. Mrs. Fathima Latiff is a highly respected certified integrative psychotherapist, master hypnotherapist, and senior lecturer with a wealth of experience in both mental health and education. She has worked extensively in the fields of psychotherapy, hypnotherapy, and student counseling, making her a sought-after expert in these areas. In addition to her counseling work, she has years of experience as a senior lecturer, particularly in the fields of AMI and TEFL. Mrs. Fatima's unique blend of psychological expertise and educational insight makes her a remarkable speaker on today's topic, developing emotional intelligence in students. During this session, Mrs. Fatima will explore key aspects of emotional intelligence, a subject that has become increasingly important in shaping not only students' academic success, but also their emotional and social well-being. She will guide us through practical strategies to help educators and parents foster EI in students and offer real-life examples of its impact on both academic performance and emotional health. It's a privilege to have her with us today, and I'm confident that her lecture will provide us with profound insights and actionable steps to better support the development of emotional intelligence in our students. Without further ado, I will now hand over the session to our speaker, Sister Fatima Latiff. Sister Fatima, the floor is yours.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good evening for everybody here. Firstly, I thank Almighty Allah for giving me this opportunity, and also I thank the IOU team members for arranging this event and inviting me especially for this topic. So today's topic is going to be emotional intelligence. just now, it is something like a coincidence. Just now, only now I came to know while that sister explained or while she was introducing about the university that this has to do with Dr. Bilal Phillips. So, I have a very good experience with him, which I would like to share here before I start. I mean, as a starting of the session. Dr. Bilal Philip came to Sri Lanka some years back, and then there was, I think, about 3 or 5 days seminar session. So most of the international school principals, teachers were invited for this. And then from my school, I was also sent for this seminar. So, the day I came, the first day, so it was all about psychology and teaching methodologies and all these things. So I was seated. And for me, that whole day, I didn't gain anything. I mean, nothing new for me. So, that day, when I went home, like I felt, oh, it's all known stuff again. It's repeating the known stuff. So, my boss at that time, the director of the school, asked me that night, Fatima, what did you learn today? You went for the seminar and how was it? What did you learn? So I told him, sir, it's all known stuff again. Like the same thing is repeating. I didn't get anything new today. So you know what he told me? He told me something which I really felt shame about myself. He said, Fatima, if you have gone with good niyat, if you have gone with good intention, definitely you would have gained something. So, I felt very bad about it. So I said, yes, there are 2 more days. Let me attend the seminar and I'll give you a feedback. So, I felt very bad when he said, if you had gone with a good intention, you'd have gained something. So then again, I thought the very next day when I went again, I thought I was hearing to Dr. Bilal Phillips' lectures. I was seated. And then again, I was thinking, okay, maybe we have a thinking that it's psychology is all about to do the same thing. When different lecturers repeat, it's going to be the same. So that's why maybe I had that thought. So maybe I will learn something new today. So the second day, the full day I was seated there. I did not learn anything special, nothing new. So then the second day ended, the third day, I think that was the last day. So the last day also started, and now it is almost at the end. So Dr. Bilal Philip was ending his program. So, I was feeling very bad because honestly, I didn't learn anything new. Now he finished his program. So I was wondering, okay, maybe the first day when I came into the program, my intentions were different. Maybe I was thinking, okay, we know a lot about psychology. So maybe it's the same thing is repeating. But then from this day 2, like, yeah, I really came with good intention. I'm going to learn something. Why? What happened? Why didn't I learn even one single new thing? So, at the last minute, Dr. Bilal Philip was telling something. He said, Jannah is very expensive. This was his words. Jannah is very expensive. You cannot enter it by doing little small things. And he also gave an example. If you want to drive a luxurious car, you want to buy one and you want to own it, then you have to work hard on it. You have to minimize your expenditures and you have to save money, work hard on it, and then you can buy the vehicle you want, the luxurious vehicle, and then you can enjoy it. So Jannah is also like that, something very expensive. So you cannot do little things and enter. You know, this was the best lesson I learned from his lectures, which I never forget. And I always make a point in my lectures, according to the audience, I make a point to remind them this. So why I told you this was with two reasons. One was, only now that I came to know it was Dr. Bilal Phillips' patroning university. And number two, whenever we go somewhere, whoever, whenever we go somewhere to learn something, especially, we should have that good intention. Intention that I should learn something. This is my personal experience, which I'm saying, so that our valuable time will never be wasted. So let me come to my topic now. So it's all about the emotional intelligence. Fine. When we talk about this emotional intelligence, there's a lot of things. It's a very sensitive area because we are dealing with the emotions, a very sensitive area where we have to be very, very thoughtful. For an example, especially when we adults handle children, we always tend to think they should do what we tell. They should do what we tell. For example, nowadays, today's generation, if we take today's generation, the little kids of, let's say, about 2.5-year-old, a little small child, a girl, you give her a beautiful, pretty frock and you ask her, after the wash, you better wear this. Definitely, she's going to ask, why should I wear it? You will have to give her a valid reason for that. Or she might, even that little girl might say, no, I don't want to wear this dress. I have some other choice. The children are that smart today. But then, a few generations back, it was not that. And even we, for an example, or maybe our grandparents, when they were given something, when they were asked to do something by their parents, I don't think they questioned. And even I think even my generation, maybe we rarely questioned our parents. Whatever they asked us to do, we just did it. But then it's not that now. There's a big generation gap where we have got to understand that very clearly. And then with this generation gap, also we have got to understand it's a fact that we adults always tend to think children or the younger ones, when we tell them something, you should do it. This is something which we always expect or which we think that they should do. We think it's a right of an adult when we tell a younger person something, or our students in schools, universities, that they should listen, understand, and do it. Okay. So let's see how far we could do what others ask us to do. Just a small practical thing. All the audience in wherever place where you happen to be, I'll give you a minute's exercise. Please coordinate and cooperate so that you will understand how much others listen to what we say or they obey to what we say. Okay. Can you please close your eyes for 1 second, all of you? Kindly close your eyes for 1 second and don't open the eyes until I tell you. Okay. Now, as you have closed your eyes, I'm instructing you something. Please don't think of a monkey. Please don't think of a monkey. Don't bring a picture of a monkey in front of your eyes. Thank you. You can open up your eyes. I hope all of you enjoyed that session. Sister, is it possible the sisters who are coordinating that we can get a quick answers from few of the audience?
Yes, sister.
My question is, when I said, close your eyes and don't think of a monkey, what did you do? This is what I wanted to know. If you can answer, that would be great.
Trying not to bring the image of monkey.
Hmm?
I was trying a lot. I was straining a lot to not to bring the image of monkey,
Okay.
but it is not possible. Very easy.
But you saw
it's
the monkey first, right?
yes.
Yes. So when I said, don't think of a monkey, first the image of the monkey comes, then you put a lot of efforts and then try to think of something else without focusing on the monkey. Yeah. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the feedbacks. So you see, when we tell a child or any human being not to do something, the tendency is to do it, to work on it. So how do we stop this now? Especially imagine in a child. You tell the child, bring your books. It's time up for your studies. What do you think the child would do? No, mom, I'm hungry. I need some snacks. Or maybe the university students, adults, you are asked to do some project. What do you do? You're given the deadline until 2 weeks' time. So what happens? The last few hours or the last few days, you struggle with your notes for you to make that report. So why is this happening? This is a general tendency in every human being we have got to understand. So then, what is the use of we putting rules and regulations in institutions, in schools, in places like this? This is a very crucial question. If they cannot follow up, why should we have this rules and regulations? Okay, let me come there. In emotional intelligence, we actually should make these children or students realize of what they have got to do. And especially when you instruct, when you speak, you're dealing with human beings. You're dealing with human beings. This human, the person called human, you know, their minds is something, a real complicated thing, which nobody can ever judge. No one ever can understand what they are going through or what they think. You see, even while I am lecturing, there will be many who will accept what I say, and there will be many who will reject. So it's nature. There's no harm. It doesn't mean in the whole world everyone has to accept what you say. There can be rejections as well. So you see, when we talk of the emotional intelligence, every individual, especially the children, we should make them understand this. So the issue is, how are we going to make them understand this? Right. The question number one, as lecturers or as teachers or as students, when we, as a lecturer, when we or a teacher, when you guide a student, it has to be always like you put an optional question without directly coming into the point. Like you see, you can, if you want, the children are not disciplined in the class, for an example. Children are not disciplined. So now you shout at them, you punish, you scream, and then still it goes on. So what do you do? For an example, just a small trick. You just divide the class into two groups. You say, this is group A, B. How you divide the group A, B is, each child you say, the first one says A, the second B, third A, fourth B. So you go on saying like that. And then you say, all the A's are in one group, all the B's are in the other group. Then you randomly appoint a leader. So you ask, how do you want to get this leader? It can be even for whoever the students. It's not only in school, even in the universities, wherever. So you see, you tell the student, look, we want to appoint a leader now. You have two options. Always give them options so that they start thinking. The critical thinking develops when you give options. So you tell the children, I have two options for you. One, to appoint a leader, you can discuss among you all, and then you can appoint a leader. Secondly, what you can do is write the names of your members in the group, and you put it in a small container, and then we ask someone else who is not connected to that classroom to take one paper where the names are written. So that name person is going to be the leader. So you give the option. So now what happens? You don't tell them how you are going to appoint the leader, how you should do it. You give them the option. Now they discuss. Let them discuss. Let them take time. So sometimes suddenly they come out saying, the person who really wants to be a leader, who feels, he says, let's discuss and do. And then when some others, they also feel, no, I too want to be part of this. And you know, what they say is, let's go for the option 2. So at that time, whatever the option they come into, you give them that opportunity. But the reality is, the importance is not to have the group, not to elect the leader, but the emotional intelligence for them to understand on their own. And then you can give a few instructions. You can say, the duties of a leader and a team. You ask the children, you ask them. You don't give the instructions, but you ask them, what do you think you should do? See, if one person's behavior is an issue in that group, the whole group is going to get one black mark, or 1 mark will be reduced from your group. We are given 100 marks for each group. So every time there's an issue, marks will be reduced from that 100. So you see, they get into this teamwork thing. They get an understanding, I have to work in the team. Now, because of me, the others must not get a black mark. See, if there's 10 in a team, so you see, at once 10 marks we are going to lose. So that we are going to have only 90 marks. These things will make them feel emotionally. Think about the other person emotionally. Now, we cannot give this responsibility by lectures to children, to anybody, even our university students. By lectures, we cannot give this sense of responsibility. So when we do it in this format, what happens is they start thinking on their own. They become self-conscious that because of me, this thing must not happen. You can have also to develop their emotions, the emotional intelligence, different types of games. You see, you can have an area where you find where the area you find some trees, a beautiful environment, where you keep little tags there, different emotions like sad, happy, helpful, kindness, rude, honesty. So you give words like that in different places you live, and you make these children, you tell them, can you go right round this area, and when you get back, just see what is there, read those words and come back to the class. So they roam around that area, they see those things, and when they come back to the class, make them sit, and then always you ask them the feedback of what they saw. Each person, give them turns to talk. and which is the word which you really liked. So, you know, the word they really like, they would always have a connection with them. Sometimes maybe honesty, the child might say honesty, because the child is always dealing with honesty. Sometimes the child might say mother. Maybe that closeness with the mother is so much, or maybe child is really missing the mother. So their emotions, when one child is speaking about what he felt, how he felt, all the others are listening. And those are things sometimes which we don't even imagine. And when it comes to these little tips are to develop their intelligence. At the same time, discipline. When it comes to discipline, especially with the younger ones, the smaller ones, we always have an issue. Not only with the younger ones, even with the adults. So when it comes to discipline, there are a few things which we can do. Like for an example, let's say a small child who comes after school, and then, you know, a parent may want the child to quickly have a wash, quickly have a bath, then have the meals, and either go to bed for a small rest or maybe for the class or whatever. So, you know, the mother starts saying, come, go and have a wash. Now you come after school, come, have a wash. But this child, no, the child doesn't concentrate on what the mother says. He has his own work. He takes the ball, he plays around, he runs around, just take out his shoes, leave it somewhere, and then with the uniform, still he's running around for about half an hour. So let's say, at last, what happens? The mother comes with the cane, and then there she punishes, and then she tries to make the child do something. So you see, when things happen like that, the child becomes, when you hit a child, in reality, when you do any physical harm, never think the child develops. Child never develops when you do a physical harm. When you do a physical harm, what happens to a child is two things. One, the child creates a revenge in your mind because it's paining, it's hurting. The child cannot hurt you in what do you call, as a response, he cannot hurt you back. So he keeps that revenge in his heart. And then in later life, he might even turn into a bitter person, a revengeful person. Instead, how we can put this behavior right? See, for example, the child comes home, let's say 2 o'clock, school over. By 2:15, the child is at home. So you put the question, as I told you, in optional form. You want the child to have a bath, but you don't tell the child, go and have a bath. You don't say, now go and have a bath. You say, look, the time is 2:15. You can have a bath now, or you can have a bath at 2:20, as you like. Now, what is going to happen is what you need. What you need is going to happen. Either you're going to have a bath now or in 5 minutes' time. But when you give this option to the child feels he would never say, now I'll have a bath now. He would definitely say in 5 minutes' time. When the child says in 5 minutes' time, what he feels inside is, I took the decision. I took the decision how to do my work. So he feels very happy about it. So this applies everywhere, even with adults, whomever you meet in the society, wherever you happen to be, let it be your working place, your school, you're handling with staff, students, children, whatever. You always give this optional way so that there would be always discipline as well. When we say point blank things to do, so say, do this, do that, don't do this, don't do that. So this becomes an issue. As I told, don't think of a monkey, they tend to do it. So we always use optional things. What you want to do, what should happen, you put it in optional days. And then we have some other issues. It's like you say, the modern amenities like the mobile, the computer, the TV, or different things, different users, the different, what do you call, the social media and stuff. So many have got addicted to this. And we see the children wasting time and all this. But I'll tell you something. Some people or the parents try to stop them completely. This is not possible. You cannot stop it completely. Because, as I told you, the generation gap. See, so many decades back, there were no TV, there was no telephones. And later, when the telephones came, it was different, not the mobile phone. And when the mobile phone came also, it was different. Now the mobile phone is different. So you see, this is the technology being every year, every second, every minute, the technology develops. So when the technology develops, it is used in the society. As I told you before, just like the monkey story, we try to stop them, what happens? They try to do it. So how we can stop this addiction? Now, generally, the psychotherapists and the doctors say the screen timing is only half an hour. But sometimes, some education purpose, some things happen more than half an hour for a very long time. So when these things are happening for a long time, so that screen timing half an hour, we cannot come into that. We have, it's like sometimes maybe it's a Zoom session. Children have to learn that way. So then again, it is more than half an hour. So the best way, how we handle this, how we handle these modern amenities. I'll give you a small example. You see, we know the knives. Different types of knives are there. The axe, the knife which you cut the vegetables, the knives which you cut bread, the knives which you cut fish, knives which you cut meat, the different designed knife. These knives are designed with a purpose so that you can do your job in a better way, in more effective way. That's the reason why these knives are created that way. But we know the same knife is used to kill people. That same knife is used for murder. It doesn't mean we can ban the knives in the world just because it's happening. The person who designed the knife designed with a purpose. Person who used in a different way. So that's a different reason why the knife is created and how you are going to use it. So every enmity, every modern enmity, we use for its purpose, always. Don't stop children using the mobile. But give them what is necessary. Okay, for example, let's say the Hajj pilgrim. They want to watch, yes. Or maybe a very good lecture. They want to watch, yes. And then maybe for their studies, the needful things, yes. Get them access to the mobile and let them know that there are lots of good things, lots of new things which you can learn through that. First, we have to set our minds. Our mindset should be accurate. We come to a thought thinking, okay, mobile phones are going to distract the children, or these modern amenities are going to distract them. No, it's wrong. Let them use it. But you have to guide them. It's something, guiding a child is something like you send a kite in the air. You see, when you send a kite up in the air, you don't hold the thread where the kite is tied. You don't hold it hard. If you hold it hard, the kite will break and it will go off. But If you hold the thread, if you just let loose the thread, what will happen? Again, the same thing happens. So what you should do is, when you send a kite in the air, you leave it, hold it. You leave it and hold. You leave and hold. So in children's life, in students' life, we also should know where we should hold and where we should stop. Don't stop anything completely, because it's not possible. And especially computers, phones, whatever. When you are letting the children use them, always make sure they will use it in a public area where the parents are there. Keep your computers in a place where everybody can see. Whatever it's in the screen, everybody can see. So that once the children are motivated to do what is necessary from the phone, they would do only that. And then always give the child leisure time. That is one of the reasons why the children get addicted to phones so much. Because the leisure time nowadays is so much restricted. Like a child comes after school, and then either he has to rush to the madrasa, and then the classes, then he gets back home, his homework. The child is so tired, he has no time for relaxation. The moment he gets the father's phone, get hold of the mother's phone or any phone, like he tries to go on connecting with the phones, go on seeing what is happening in the phone. Or maybe for relaxation, he's just taking the phone, and then he might get into different areas. That is because for relaxation, he cannot find anything else. So the best way for you to guide a child, give all the modern amenities. Yes, let them use. You cannot stop it, but limit it. For which reasons you can go there. And then give them plenty of time to play, plenty of time to enjoy, and plenty of time of their own space. Every child, every human being, every person, they have their own liking. They have something like, for example, there's some like going to the beach, let's say, some like going to the park, some like pets, different liking of their own, something like their hobby. Give them enough time for that as well, so that they will not want to deviate from their path, so that they will know my school studies, school work I got to do, I can use. So they won't be addicted to these modern amenities, because they have got enough time for their playing, for their enjoyment. So they have nothing to enjoy with the phone. Give them plenty of physical exercises like swimming or karate, different physical, football, cricket, different physical activities, so that the child will be engaged in physical activities. When the child gets engaged in the physical activities, and two things happen to the child. One thing is when his body organs gets tired, he tends to breathe a lot. When he's breathing a lot, he's taking good oxygen inside, which is going to energize his body, energize his brain, energize his thoughts. So you see, when we try to guide a child in different ways, in emotional intelligence, we need to understand how we draw the line and where we draw the line. Understand the child's perspective, not what you want. At this moment, now, this should happen. No, not that way. You want to guide a child, discipline a child, sit with the child and put a timetable. Tell the child, come here, let's have a small discussion. I feel it's both of us. We don't work according to a time. So shall we have your own schedule? Make a timetable for yourself. And then you always put, don't forget to have your playing time. It's very important. Include in your timetable every day. Your playing time is very important. So when you tell little things like this, which interest the child, so the child feels, oh, my mom understands me, my dad understands me. Yeah, they are the best friend of mine. They really know what I want, what I'm going through. So you see, build up this relationship with the children for their better future and also for their emotional intelligence. Like every minute, make sure that you are there for them, not as an hindrance, but always as a helping hand. You are there openly to discuss with the child any problem the child has. The first person the child should think of is you, not anybody else, so that you are sure you're going to guide your child in the proper way, not by setting rules and regulations, but always trying to discuss, going through with the child. You go this journey with the child, you have to go along, not in front, not behind, but along with the child. This is the journey that a child should achieve in his life. And also, I think it's time up of my sessions, and I think you should get into the question answer session. Am I right?
Yes, sister.
If anyone has any question, yes, you can ask,
Yeah.
and I will answer to the knowledge, whatever I have with me, I'm ready to share with you. And I would also like to get some feedbacks if the coordinators don't mind it.
Yeah, okay, inshallah. Jazakallah khair, Sister Fatima, for such an insightful and thought-provoking presentation. We truly appreciate the time, effort, and wisdom you shared with us today. Your expertise has provided us with invaluable knowledge on emotional intelligence and its importance in student development. At this point, we would like to open the floor for the Q&A session. If you're watching on Zoom, YouTube, please feel free to submit your question in the chat. And for those joining us on Zoom, you can use the Q&A section to send in your questions. Sister Fatima, the first
Yes.
question is,
Yes, what's the first question,
mindfulness
please?
play in increasing emotional awareness and
Darling, the line
managing
is breaking.
in increasing emotional awareness?
Increasing social awareness. How we can help a child in increasing social awareness. Is that the question?
Emotional awareness and managing emotional responses.
In social movement. Yeah, to develop this, especially as I told you, you should make the child move with others. See, and when a child is moving, we should make sure the child will move with his age. Because you see, for example, let's say a 5-year-old child is moving with the 25 years old people. So you see this 5-year-old child's behavior. Maybe he has a behavior of like hitting, pulling. So how will a 20-year-old or a 25-year-old will respond? They will always respond with understanding, right? They are not going to hit the child back. They are not going to hit the child back. They will only coordinate there. I mean, they will just keep quiet or smile or just speak. But then what happens if this 5-year-old child hits another 5-year-old? Definitely that child is going to respond. Either he is going to hit back or respond to whatever the child is doing. So when that is happening, the child himself is learning something. When I give, I get. When I give, I get, always. So the child learns how to behave himself in a society. Once or twice he will start fighting with others. he'll start hitting others. And then what happens? They will learn through their own age, not from others. It's very important, with their own age. And then I hope you would have got your answer. It's always by moving with the same age category. It's very important. And when it comes to teenagers, of course, the parents, the mom or the dad should be the best friend of your child, because you are the best guidance at that moment for your children. Yes. Any other questions?
The next question is, how can managing stress contribute to maintaining motivation and focus on long-term goals, especially during challenging times?
Yes. When generally someone has, can you kindly, I think somebody is typing in the chat box. I can't read them. So whatever the questions which is put to me directly, I will answer. When it comes to stress, yes, every one of us, we have stress in life. In different situations, when we find, like sometimes maybe it is work stress, sometimes maybe even if you are not going to work, the situations, that stress. So different type of stress sometimes stops our progress. It's okay to rest a little, but not to give up. It's okay to rest a little, but not give up. First and foremost, you should focus on what you want to achieve. Say you have a goal, you want to, for an example, you want to become a teacher. Let's get a very simple target, a teacher. It's not a simple target, of course, but then you want to be a teacher. So what is the first thing? First thing is you should decide whether you are ready to be a teacher, whether is that the thing which you want in life. Now, when you think of, it's not, you don't take decisions by what everyone has to say, and everybody says, okay, you are talented in this, why don't you do this? It's okay sometimes, once in a way, it can be a motivation. That's a different thing. But then, in general, you know what is best for you. You know your talents, you know your abilities, and you know your capacities. So with your capacity, you want to achieve something, and you be mindful. When we say mindful, remember what is mindful is focus on what you're doing at that moment without confusing things. Okay, you want to achieve a target, have your target. To achieve this, what are the steps I should take? So, for example, you want to be a teacher. Okay, then you first understand, is that the career which you want to do? A teacher's life is very much sacrificing, because it's unlike like the office work. You cannot take leave whenever you want, because you have to go to school, you have to teach the children. If you don't go to school, one day you're, wasting so many hours of some other human being's life. So it's a very responsible thing. So if you should think about all this, am I ready to sacrifice all this? Fine. If so, start step by step. From where do I start? From which level I'm going to start? Think on your own. Get your targets. And the mindfulness. That is, when you do some work, you only think about that particular thing at the moment. For example, if when you're praying and you tie the takbir Allahu Akbar and don't start thinking now which university I'm going to apply for my exam, or which course is good for me. No, you're praying, focus only on prayers. Then you're hungry, you're going to eat. Now, while eating, don't think about which university I'm going to, you take the phone in the other hand and you start Googling and looking for universities where you're going to do the course. No, not that. It's your time to eat. Sit in peace, a place which makes you relax, happy. Look at your food. See what is in the plate, the different food. Taste them and eat it. Enjoy your food and eat. So being mindful will always reduce stress. Stress is something which you should have. If there's no stress in people, people will not achieve. I mean, that is not the harmful stress, but like me knowing tomorrow I have to go to school. So suppose in the morning, if there's no electricity, I won't be able to iron my clothes. So let me iron it in the night and keep while it's reading. This is also a stress, but that is a developing stress, not harmful stress. Harmful stress is when you're going to sleep, you're thinking of something else. When you're going to eat, you're going to thinking of something else. And you don't focus on what you have to do at that very moment. So it is very important for you to focus on that very moment what you're doing so that you reduce stress to the maximum in your life. It will be a really goal achieving tic-tac, and not only to goal achieving, for you to have a healthy life also. Any questions?
Yes, excuse me.
Yes.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Juma here. Thank you.
Yes.
Kindly explain the difference between leadership and emotional intelligence. And as you explained that, give an example of how you would handle a co-worker who fails to do their part of the job from the perspective of emotional intelligence, not as a leader.
Okay. Your question is that in a working place,
Yes.
how you develop the emotional intelligence. Okay,
Not
it's like
exactly
this.
that. I'm inquiring, what is the difference between that and leadership? You understand? With leadership, there are some skills that are accrued to, of course, emotional intelligence. However, the difference is in the boundary of the qualities of who the leader is against somebody with just emotional intelligence. So what's that difference?
Yeah, in a when it comes to a company or an organization, and when it is like that, the emotional intelligence there, you see different types of mentalities work there, and with different intentions, of course. And then a leader cannot make everyone think in the same way. Definitely, it's not possible because each person's thinking, each person's mindset is different. For an example, let's say we need to reach Jerusalem from right around the world. So people reach Jerusalem. The target is to reach Jerusalem, but the route what they take is different. Some take a very easy route, some take the hard way. It depends on what they have to face in daily basis. So with all this, when they come into work, especially in a working place, you want to keep them all in touch, intact, get them into get them into one line. So what you should do is create that atmosphere, but still you will have a little bit this way, that way. But a leader, a leadership quality, a leader there, of course, should understand the different mentality of every person. And you want some targets done. You want something done from them. So you see, always, as I told you before, like get this optional base. Give them 2 or 3 choices. And but all 3 is what you need. All 3 is to reach Jerusalem. But you give them 3 options, 2 or 3 options. How do you want to do it? You better choose your way. So when they choose and do their own way and do things, you really achieve. You hit the target. Maybe their mentalities are different, their needs are different, but still they get a thought like, I decided how I'm going to do that. Even for adults, that applies a lot. So you see, when you work with different mentality, people with different mentalities, this type of optional questions, optional opportunities really hit the target. Hope you got the answer what you wanted or you expected.
Yes, thank you, Fatima, for that clarity. Thank you.
The next question is, what are some effective techniques to calm ourselves during high stress situations? And how can practicing these techniques improve our emotional resilience?
Okay. One is that I told you to be mindful. That is something which is very, very, very important. When you're mindful, you bring your stress level down very much. Like, for example, I said, when you're eating, just look at your food, focus on your food, eat it. For example, you're going to have a bath, just think of having the bath only. Think of the water trickling down your body, the soap, the smell, and how you're cleaning yourself. So being mindful is one of the ways. And I'll give you a small technique. Whoever asked for that question, you see, you can go out if you have space outside or inside the house also you can do it. If it is a garden where you find the grass, it would be great. Then you stand on the grass barefooted and then turn your palms towards the sky. Turn your palms towards the sky. Like this, turn your palms towards the sky and your right hand you should put the right hand down like this way. First, you turn both your palms towards the sky, stand on the grass barefooted, then put your right hand down towards the ground so that your left hand is turned towards the sky, your right hand towards the ground. Then you slowly close your eyes. You slowly close your eyes. This is something which you can do it personally. Close your eyes. Then you take a deep breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. While you do this exercise on your own, you put a thought into your mind that every time I breathe in, I'm breathing in good oxygen, which is energizing my brain, my cells, my body. And every time I breathe out, I am breathing out all the bad carbon dioxide, bad toxins, which is getting earth from my right hand and from my foot. Each time I take a deep breathe in, it is energizing me. Every time I breathe out, all the toxins, all the stress is moving out of my body. Just put this thought in your mind and just do that exercise for a few minutes. Take a deep breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out while doing this exercise. And in few minutes, you open up your mind, you will feel very fine. You will feel very comfortable. Because, in psychotherapy, in psychology, you say energy follows thoughts. So whatever the thoughts you feed in, the energies follow accordingly. So when we of course get stressed out time to time, the work, the environment, the people, family, so many things make us feel stressed. So this is a very good exercise, tic-tac, which you can do it on your own. But it would be very much better if it is a very quiet place so that you find your own space and you do this. Okay, any other question?
So sister, we have around 5 more questions. Is it all right?
Yeah, for me it's okay.
Okay. Then the next question is, How can exploring your core values and beliefs help you understand and regulate your emotional responses more effectively?
Yeah. Now, first you have got to understand the, okay, we do a small exercise with the school students. You know what? When I want to put them right, I want to correct their behavioral patterns. I never say the way of behaving is wrong. I don't go for all that. What I tell is first, write your abilities, your positive qualities. Write 10 of it. Write 10 of your positive qualities, your good qualities. So, sometimes they take time. Even when we tell an adult, write 10 positive things about you. They take time. They start thinking why. Generally, we don't focus on ourselves. What are the good things inside me? Every human being should be aware of it. What are the good things about me? This is why it's important we always let know the other person about something good what we see in them. It is very important. So like that, now for you to understand yourself, you write this. So when you write 10 good qualities about you, you think hard and you write. So you know, oh, these 10 good qualities are there in me, whatever. And then on the next page, you write 10 weaknesses of yours. 10 weaknesses of yours. So then again, when you maybe you get angry quickly, you become judgmental, different things, whatever your weaknesses. So once you have written all these 10 weaknesses, choose one out of it. Out of the 10, choose just one at the most, and then focus on getting rid of it. For example, you think you are getting angry very soon. So you take that point and think, at which moments do I get angry? When do I get angry? With whom do I get angry? First, analyze why you're getting angry. So when you think of these points, you will know in which environment generally you get angry. And then remember, is there a reason for that anger? For example, the things generally, we get angry when we cannot do things the way we want. We have to always remember in life, there are two things. Things which are under our control, things which are not under our control. So when things are not under our control, we should be intelligent enough just to leave it aside. We have got nothing to do with that problem because it's not under our control. For example, let's say it's been raining for one whole week. Now you have dumped your clothes, you have washed, you have no way of putting it to dry. So you get annoyed, angry. It's not under your control. Rain, you cannot stop it. It's not under your control. So instead getting annoyed and angry, how you develop your emotional intelligence? Find a way how you could put your clothes to dry. How can you dry your laundry? Instead of getting angry with the environment, getting annoyed, just find an alternate way. That alternate way is under your control. A way how to put your clothes to dry. But to stop the rain, it's not under your control. So leave it totally up. Don't talk about it. Don't think about it. Just leave it and enjoy the momentary thing, what you have got to do. Okay, any other question?
Yes, sister. The next one. How can setting personal goals enhance emotional intelligence?
It's like this. That's a very good question. When you set goals, like for example, when we take different people who are doing their jobs, different jobs, whatever they are doing at this moment, many of them really wanted to become that. Many of them had become that by chance. For example, let's say you have become a doctor, but you never wanted to become a doctor, you wanted to become a farmer. But something, the destiny changes that way. Now you're a doctor. So definitely you're not, even if you're a doctor, even you think that's a very good job, still you're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to enjoy. But about farming, yes, you would enjoy a lot. But then when we come into a point like this, you're not in a situation to give up your job completely and get into the farming. You're not in a position like that. So now, your job you're not enjoying. So what you can do is, while doing your job, make space to enjoy the things which you like. You like farming, try to get some space in your rooftop or in your balcony where you can plant things. That's one, because you liked it. You will enjoy even the little given time. While doing that, within your job, whatever the job you are doing, try to find areas where you enjoy about it, areas where you try to develop yourself, and think of things that like being helpful to another person. It's so nice. And say you're a doctor and then you cure a patient. So that's, you feel very fine about it. See some parent come crying to you, my child is in this situation, doctor, please help. And then you have done your maximum and that child is out of danger. So you feel very good because the other person is feeling good. So within your job, you find situations to make yourself happy. At the same time, if it is not your targeted job, if it is not your goal which you were thinking, then do something to do with your targeted goal or your targeted job. Maybe it is you want to become a sportsman. Find some time for sports. For you will relax, not only relax, you will also enjoy, and it will keep your mental health very good. Because sometimes life doesn't give us all the choices what we need. Sometimes it's different, and then we have to make that different a satisfying thing for us. Yes.
Jazakallah, sister. So the next question, how do I change my mindset to study consistently, even though my mind and body are not motivated to do so? Because I am the kind of person who studies last minute.
Okay. So that's a pure physical. You know, there are three types of people: physicals, emotionals, and somnambs. So, you know, this is the type of the quality of physicals, that they always do the things in the very last minute. They always like, wait, have enough time, and then at the last minute, they start working. Okay. Now, when you know you're a physical, and a physical has this type of qualities, like they always give space. You see, the exam is after 1 month, so you think, I have enough time. So on the day, or say about 3 days before the exam, you try to take all the books, dump around you, and then you think there's so much to study and you just give up. No, I can't do this. Nothing stays in my mind. Yeah. So that's a quality of physicals. So when we know I'm a physical, then you should know your weakness as well. My weakness is this is my weakness. So if it is an exam, you want to study, focus, or whatever, you have got to study 8 subjects, let's say, for an example. First, understand what are the subjects that I've got to study. And then list it out. List out the subjects what you have got to study. And then out of the subjects, choose the subjects which you really like. First, learn on it. Give time for those. Make a timetable on your own. Okay, for English, I'm giving this much time. For literature, I'm giving this much time. So give equal time for all the subjects. First, choose to learn the subjects which you like a lot. And as I told you before, the mindfulness is very important, because you have to focus on whatever you're studying. You have to focus 100%. Even if it is a small, generally, what do you call it, focusing is for about 45 minutes maximum. So if you try to study for more than 1 hour, it doesn't work. It needs the variation. It needs, like you say, you study for about half an hour, you will have full focus. So in half an hour's time, you better get up and go and focus on something else, do something else, go and chat with someone and come. Don't think when you do that, you will forget all what you study. No, it's not like that. So it's a very deep thing which I've got to explain with some diagrams and all. But then this is not the time for me to go into that deep explanation. But therefore, I'm just giving you the briefing, how you can focus on your studies. So, and then the things, the studies, the subjects, whatever you don't like, take it 20 minutes. This subject I'm going to study only 20 minutes. And in that subject also, get the important chapter. Say one full chapter. In a chapter, there is one important thing. In a lesson, there is one important point. Take a short notes, that important point. So that in a whole huge book, if there is only 10 chapters, there are only 10 things for you to study. There's nothing for you to study the whole book. That whole book is just for reference. But when you are studying, there's only one point about each chapter. So you focus on that. The things, the subjects which you like, give little more time. Subjects which you don't like, lessen the time. 15 to 20 minutes. So that time you give the full focusing. Inshallah, definitely you will achieve.
Jazakallah khair, sister. We are on to the last two questions.
Yes.
What are some techniques to improve the ability to understand others' emotions?
Oh, okay. It's a very good question. It's like this. You have to understand the others. For example, I'll tell you something. Let's say there's a liquor bar, a liquor shop. So a man is fallen in front of a liquor shop. What would we think at once? Oh, this fellow, I don't know why he is earning hard and spending all his money at the liquor shop, where he can spend on his wife and children. Why is he wasting his money? Now see how he has fallen there. So this is what we will think at once, right? What if it is the other way around? What if that man was a sick person? What if he had never stepped into the liquor shop at all? What he was sick? What he had not had food for many days and he had fallen there? So the best thing is we should never be judgmental. We should never be judgmental. And also remember, never think I know this person completely. No, you never know. You never know another person completely. Because different situations, people react in a different way. So don't come into a conclusion about anybody. It's like this. Always give an understanding. How we can give the understanding is why the person did that. Think about the person's situation. Why the person did that. If I was in that situation, what would have been my reactions? If you think it in that way, you will always start thinking in a much more empathetic. Don't feel sympathy towards others. Sympathy is not a good thing. You should feel empathy. Get into their perspective and look at the problem so that you will understand them better. Yes.
Jazakallah khair. So the last question is, how can I increase my awareness of my own emotions?
Can you repeat the question, please?
How can I increase my awareness of my own emotions?
Now it's like this. It is a talent of your own. Like, for example, don't think of now you're disturbed. Let's say you're emotionally disturbed. Don't think of all the things, all the problems at once. Focus, sit in a place and then think, now why am I disturbed? Why am I disturbed? So when you think that, some thoughts will come. Okay, I'm hungry, or maybe my homework is not done, or I have got so much of work to do. I have that to do, I have this to do, lot of things. Lot of things come to your head. Either you can focus one problem at a time or write down all what is disturbing you. Write down all what is disturbing you. List out. And then look at that list and see what are the things which I can solve at this moment. How can I solve it? Whatever I can say, in 3 days' time, you have to go on a tour. So now itself you are thinking, still I have not packed my bags, I have not planned what clothes I am going to take. Tomorrow I have got an exam. Now everything is disturbing. Now the first thing is tomorrow's exam. Forget about all the other things. Priority is tomorrow's exam. So you focus on tomorrow's exam, finish it. And then in your list, see what is the next priority. One thing at a time. We cannot handle everything. We are human beings, right? We can be failures. It doesn't mean all the time in life we achieve. We can be failures, no problem. The only issue is we must not stop. We should move. We can rest. We can rest for a while, but we should move. So we have to focus on how we are going to do our things in a way that will not disturb us. Not think about everything at once, one problem at a time, sort it out, and never think when we sort one problem, all my problems are finished. Until our death, we will have to face problems one after the other, one after the other. But it doesn't mean just because we have to face problems that we give up life. No, it's not that. You have to do it happily. The challenges, you have to face them very happily, one after the other. Yes.
That concludes everything, Sister Fatima. Jazakallah khair for addressing these questions.
Barakallah.
Alhamdulillah, that was an amazing session. On behalf of the IOU Student Committee of Sri Lanka, I want to sincerely thank Sister Fatima Latiff for sharing her expertise and valuable insights with us today. I hope this session has given you all a better understanding of how to cultivate emotional intelligence in students and the impact it can have on their success. If you have any further questions or would like more information about our upcoming events, please feel free to reach out to us at studentoutreachlk@gmail.com or contact us directly at the number displayed on the screen. You can always reach out to helpdesk at iou.edu.gm for any questions about IOU, and they will be happy to assist you. Thank you all for joining us today, and a special thanks once again to Sister Fatima Latiff for her insightful and powerful presentation. We look forward to seeing you at our future events, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and thank you so much.